What do you say, ladies and gents? It is your boy Bacat Sam. We are back in today for another video. Today's video, I'm doing a match reaction and analysis to Spain versus France, the Uefa Nations League final, which was an absolute corker of a game. France came out 2-1 victors, the away side playing at the San Siro, and it was just great to see fans back. An absolutely brilliant game where we saw over 24 shots. It was great. Let's just delve right into it. And we're going to start off with the formations, the lineups here. So we always know what Spain are going to play. That simple 4-3-3 formation. Marcos Alonso, Azpilicueta as the fullbacks. And one player I want to talk about, Gavi, but we'll get onto him. And the 4-3-3, it's just solid, isn't it? You know exactly what Spain are going to do with the false nine. Two forwards, like inverted wingers, kind of inside forwards, kind of very similar to the Man City kind of style of play. And they came up against a France side who are playing in this new system recently, in the 3-4-1-2 system. 3 at the back, 4 across the midfield, or it could be considered a 5-2-1-2, whatever you want to say. With the ball, it was 3-4-1-2, there we go. But without the ball, it was a 5-2-1-2. Griezmann playing in the number 10, and then Benzema and Mbappe up top. But what I want to talk about is in the first half, I thought it was awful from France. Yes, I know France ended up winning the game, but what I thought about in this game is they changed and listened to me. At halftime, I was sat on the sofa with my dad watching this game, and I was looking at it, and Spain dominate possession, as you know they're going to do, and they dominate the chances, really. Yes, I know it was 0-0 going in at half-time, but what happened in this game was Marcos Alonso is playing left-back, and we all know Marcos Alonso cannot defend, and he's more like a wing-back, as we see at Chelsea. He was bombing on so much, and then overlapping with Sarabia, and then Azpilicueta does what he always does, and because he's not got the energy that he used to have, not got the pace. So what he does, he slots in and makes it kind of a 3 at the back or an inside midfielder. Then it's Sergio Busquets and Rodri sit in the middle, and then it just allows the rest of the team, Ferran Torres, Orzabal, I don't know why I struggle with this pronunciation, Sarabia and Gavi, all just to go crazy forward, and they would dominate the play. Really nice passing styles, especially down that right-hand side. Ferran Torres and Gavi were insane in that first half. They absolutely dominated that first half. And what happened with France is, because of this system, the 3-4-1-2, it's all about the wing-backs for the width. But the 2 wing-backs were just pinned back, which then meant Pogba was pinned back and Tchouaméni was as well. And then it just left Griezmann, who just didn't do anything. And then Benzema and Mbappe isolated at the top. And then when they tried to counter, they'd have to come back inside to that ridiculous Spanish press that you always know is going to happen. Not only that, I thought Griezmann was quite poor today in the number 10 role. Just didn't seem right. And what he needs to do without the ball is he had to sit on Sergio Busquets, which he didn't do. The entire first half, Sergio Busquets every time had time on the ball, and then he'll spray it around, and that's how Spain started that progressive passing play. You know, if you're going to try and keep Spain quiet, you have to keep Sergio Busquets quiet, which is not what he did. But I think it's a really odd game in the sense of about 65 minutes in, Orzabal scores, and they deserved it. Spain had been playing some really nice football and dominating the play. But for some reason, out of nowhere, it was like it flicked in France's head. It's like I read a stat. They said in the last 7 games, France have gone 1-0 down. In the last 6 games, they've gone 1-0 down, or in 6 of the last 7, one of the 2. You know what I'm trying to say. So France know what to do in these situations, and France realised, because Spain play such high play and the progressive style of football, France sat back, which then encouraged Spain on. And then they lofted the ball over the top to Mbappe. There was such a gaping hole and gap so many times. And what they did was France just sat back and just soaked up the pressure, won the ball back, looked over the top and countered. They've got Mbappe, one of the fastest players in the world. They've got Theo Hernandez, absolutely rapid. Griezmann, he's good on the ball. And then Pogba can play those long passes, which is where the goal came from. They just hit the bar just before that. But Benzema's goal was absolutely gorgeous. Cuts in onto that right foot. And that's one thing I really liked from Benzema and Mbappe. They kept doing overloads. Yes, sometimes it was quite poor. There was never the one at the back post. So one would go down the left, but the other one would do an overlapping run. And that's what happened. Benzema and Mbappe and Theo Hernandez all came down that left-hand side and had an overload, and then Benzema could cut in on that right foot, cut into the far corner. Yes, Simon did get a save, or Simon, sorry, did get a hand to it, but it's still an absolutely brilliant finish. Top right corner, really good goal. And then 1-1, and then from then onwards, Spain just looked like they were just incapable of passing. All of a sudden, it just went. France just soaked up the pressure for so long, and it was just like all the players just decided they can play football again, because Pogba just went missing. Tuchumeni again was another player who was missed in that first half, the first 65 minutes, and then all of a sudden it flicked of a switch. Pogba was on the ball, Theo Hernandez was bombing on forward, playing basically as a winger. Pavard, you're not going to get him bombing on. That's not something that he does. But with Mbappe and Griezmann, the two of them then started coming out to the right, and they just kept bombing down and then just having overloads again and again and again. And I really liked it, especially down that left-hand side, as I just said. Azpilicueta a couple of times, because Ferran Torres and Gavi go so far forward on that right-hand side. It left so much gap for Theo Hernandez and Benzema and Mbappe, and that's where the goals came from. Both goals coming down from that left-hand side. And Mbappe took the second goal absolutely beautifully. One-on-one with the keeper, does a step over, slots the ball in. Really good finish. And to be honest, in the grand scheme of the game, both sides had 12 shots. I'm just looking. Spain had 4 shots on target. France had 5 shots on target. You'd think watching the game, obviously Spain dominate in possession, 64%, but France were just clinical. France were very good in the fact that they were quiet for 65 minutes, but it just took them so long, and I do worry about that with Didier Deschamps, that he didn't realise, and I kept saying it throughout the game, the gaps down that side, if they can just get players to push on, or even just loft the ball over the top, because Spain do play with a high line. So overall, I think Spain dominated the game, but France took their chances, and that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest stat at the end of the day. So that is my reaction and match analysis. If you haven't already, please like, comment and subscribe your thoughts. But yes, France have won the Uefa Nations League. Yes, the former world champions, the reigning world champions, are back in form. They looked very clinical today. And the thing is, with the two players up top, in Benzema and Mbappe, no matter how poorly you play throughout that 65 minutes or throughout a game, they will have moments, and they did have moments, and they took their chances. And that's what a world-class side is like. They take the few little flickers and little moments to get wins. So fair play to France. Thank you guys for watching. Bucket Sam, over and out. Thank you. Goodbye.